Hello citizens of the internet, my name is AJ, I am the A to Z artist. Welcome to my channel on a brand new day. As I said in my last video, my Pokemon D&D Fusion Episode 2 video, I've decided to kind of go with a second video during the week. It might not be completely consistent, I might not be posting every single Friday. For the most part, I'll try my best to get one out every Friday, but I really wanted to do a vlog style video. Mostly to talk about my opinions and review different things and talk about my collectibles. I have a few different collections going that I love to talk about. Talk about my art influences. Do more of a talking focused video, not a drawing and storytelling video, but an actual one where I try and connect with the community kind of thing that I've got going here. The reason I wanted to start doing this was because I used to write for a website called Comics Verse. I loved my experience there. It was one of the best writing experiences I've had, and I haven't really had much of a chance to do much writing personally outside of storytelling aspects and stuff like that, because I've been doing a lot of work. I have been doing a lot of writing. I have a master's in creative writing, and so doing my day-to-day writing gets in the way of doing a story review or things like that. It makes it hard to do stuff like that because I want to devote my time to furthering my goals of becoming a published writer in some fashion at the end of the day. So that's why I want to do these vlogs, just to get my opinions out there, talk about my favorite comics, my favorite movies, my least favorite comics and movies as well, because there are there's some crap out there, let's just be honest. But there's a lot of high points too. I'm one of those people that really usually enjoys what he goes to see and experience. Today's video, to kind of ease my way into this vlogging format, is one that is kind of close to my heart. It's one of my big hobbies. I collect pins, and it kind of sounds silly, but as you might see from my studio set, quote unquote, it's a corner of my bedroom, but I call it my studio / set. I have a new addition, which is this big cork board. And has my pin collection on it, and that is what I wanted to talk about today. My pins that I've collected either through the Disney parks, they roped me in big time on that, and also my brother and my dad, and now my nephews, because apparently it is an infection that just takes over every aspect of your life and also rips apart your wallet and your money. But I love it! So, I wanted to talk about all my different pins today. I wanted to go through the pins that I own, as well as some art pieces that I found in the Wonderground Art Gallery. You can see on my corkboard there. Hopefully as this channel grows and as time passes, that board will get more full, more interesting. It'll kind of grow with the channel. So if you end up liking this video, hit like down below. Subscribe to show your support, and if you like all my other videos. And be sure to leave a comment down below. I do have a question of the week that I already mentioned in my previous video. That question is, what are your favorite horror tropes? That had to do with a Lovecraftian monster I designed in my last video. But also just let me know, do you collect pins? What collections do you have? I'll ask that again at the end of the video, but I didn't want to know. It really interests me. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as I said, this is kind of my second time recording this. I wanted to make sure. The first time I went too long with all the explanations. That's because all of these pins mean something to me. But this is my pin board. This is the extent of my collection, kind of. There are a few pins that I'm missing, but what can you do? I still want to show these off, just because I'm very proud of my collection, very proud of just what I've got. I just set this pin board up a couple days ago, so I'm really happy with it being in my room. I'd show you my room, but it is kind of a mess right now. I haven't gotten around to cleaning it, so you get to see the board. You want to see a quick glance? That's it. That's all you get. So let me get into showing you some of the other just little small pieces of this board. It's going to be kind of a highlight reel. I'm going to talk about just the small, like the individual pins that mean the most to me. So here we go. So my pin board is kind of set up into 6 different sections. This one here is what I consider my Disney Heroes section. All of these are just meant to represent either the Fab Five or heroes from the Disney movies. This set over here, these 6, are actually my first pins that I ever bought. They were a nerdy booster set for each of the Fab kind of 7 characters. The one I don't have right now is Mickey. I think I traded him in the parks, but this is the one that got me into this very expensive hobby, and one that matters. They kind of matter to me for that reason. And as for the rest, we have a couple of Aladdin pins. I have this one here that's kind of a poster feel, and another over here that is just the genie with this very cool gold finish on the lamp. We have Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove, The Fox and the Hound, which was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I just haven't gotten around to actually watching it again. I couldn't tell you the plot for the life of me. And then we also have this Ariel. Originally, this was a mystery pin. We bought 2 sets to split between my dad, my brother, myself, and my nephews. And we pulled out, I think it was the Best Friends set, and we pulled out this Ariel, and no one wanted her because my nephews were at the age where I don't want any girly stuff, so I got the princess, and I'm happy about that because I love Ariel, I love Flounder, one of my favorite movies, so I won out on that one. We also have here probably my favorite pin that I own. It is a tribute to Mickey in all of his different forms. If you can see on the door there, there's Mickey through the years, even older Mickey through the years, and then Mickey standing next to Walt Disney. And this one's actually like a hinged door pin. Let me see if I can get this closed for you without destroying the camera focus. And it says, "It was all started with a mouse." That was what the original quote was. But when you open it, it says, "It was all started with Walt Disney." I love that pin. So cool. We kind of have another one with a very gold finish, kind of a school logo kind of feel for our Mickey Mouse there. We have Oswald. If you've not been with me for a while, you might not know that my original blog that I was writing was called Oswald the Everyday Nerd. It came from this because my kind of nerdiness started when I learned about Oswald, and I learned about the story surrounding Oswald. Oswald was essentially stolen from Walt Disney. He was his first character, and his animators were bought out by another company, and yeah, they essentially bought the rights at the same time. So yeah, this is kind of a special part of my nerdy history and nerdy history in general. We have Monsters, Inc. and Lion King, both 2 of my favorite movies, and a little Stitch on top of a pineapple, which comes from Box Lunch, not from Disney itself. So that is my Disney Heroes section. Next section is my Disney Parks section, and it's probably one of my smaller ones, but I don't know, it's one of my favorites just because the pins themselves are so cool. We have one for Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorite show rides. We have Adventures in Everest, Expedition Everest, probably my favorite thrill ride. My mom hates this ride with a passion. It scared the crap out of her when we first rode it. So I might be the only one in my family who actually really loves this ride, but that's okay with me. I'll go on it a million times. And probably my second favorite pin in my bunch. It's very shiny. You can see there it's kind of not picking it up right, but it's the 3 hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion is probably one of my favorite show rides in general. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is probably tied, but Haunted Mansion is definitely up there, and the hitchhiking ghosts are just some of my favorite characters in general. Fantasmic, such a cool nighttime show at Disney. They do these big water jets they project video on, and it's just such an experience to go see that one. Big fireworks show at the end too. You also have Indiana Jones for the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. Got Mickey as Indy, which is such a cool. I love when they dress Mickey up as different characters. We got our Animal Kingdom pin, showcasing the Hakuna Matata trio, Pumbaa, Timon, and Simba, and added in with a little, what's his name? Zazu. Zazu is his name. So we got Zazu in there on top of the Animal Kingdom Tree of Life. And we got the Mission Space pin, which was probably one of the ones that scared me the most. It makes you really feel like live G's like they would feel when they were going into space. That was one of my favorite experiences, although I almost threw up on that ride. Probably the first time on a ride that I have almost thrown up. And we got the 5 heads from the Graveyard Jamboree at Haunted Mansion. These are the Phantom 5 singing heads. There's that big scene where it starts out with the caretaker getting scared. Probably my favorite part of the ride. And this was brand new from this last year, so probably the newest pin in this bunch. Next up we have what I call the outside parks section. These are all parks that are in Florida, but just not Disney. We have, first up, these two, which of these pins, they mean the most to me. They're not necessarily the most, they're not my favorite pins themselves, but they mean the most because they represent Give Kids the World Village, which is probably one of the best places on earth. I say that with wholeheartedness. I'm not saying that just as a gimmick. They put up families that are on the Make-A-Wish trip, on Make-A-Wish trips down to Florida to see Disney World. These two pins themselves, Give Kids the World Village was built to support these families as they went down to their trip. You can only stay in Give Kids the World if you are on a Make-A-Wish trip. My younger brother had the opportunity to do that, and we stayed there. And what they do for the kids with disabilities, with terminal health issues and everything, it's just fantastic. So if you have the chance to volunteer or donate to them, I mean, give them a shot because they do a fantastic job there. Next we have my 2 SeaWorld pins. We have a polar bear because the bear is my spirit animal, and I don't know, this is the only way you can get a bear from SeaWorld. We also have the manatee to kind of represent the veterinary efforts they do there. I'm amazed. We saw the manatee care center they have there, and it's just amazing what they do for these wounded animals that they find and rescue. So I know they get a lot of bad press, but always good to see that section just to kind of get some warm, good feelings. And then we have these 3 from Universal Orlando, representing the Harry Potter world there. My family's huge Harry Potter nerds, I've said in previous video. We have the Order of the Phoenix, kind of the Wizarding World superhero team. We got the Ravenclaw, which represents me, because I am a die-hard Ravenclaw. And Fluffy, the big, fluffiest monster in all of the world. Also probably eats you. Next we have my Star Wars section. It's small, but I like it a lot. Most of these pins have a lot of meaning for me. This one was the first limited edition pin that I ever owned. This is Rey and Kylo fighting from the last movie. And yeah, it's just, this is the first limited edition. It's LE4000. Not a super rare one, but one that I was really proud of getting. Kind of the first time I was actually a real pin collector at that point. We have my pin that I got from Savi's for building my lightsaber. I was a nature. My Galaxy's Edge Remembrance pin. My Stormtrooper pin that I have. My brother and my dad have it too because they collect pins as well. And this is our kind of family pin, which I'm happy about. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background, but these are my limited release collection of the Knights of Ren. Limited release means that they only make a certain amount of them. It's more than like a limited edition, but they only produce a certain amount in a certain time. So they're quite common in the parks for a very small amount of time, and then they go up in value. And I had to get the Knights of Ren, even though they don't play a big part in the movie. I don't know. I've always really loved their designs, and I wish they would have done more. Next section we got is one pin. My dad's really the villain collector in the family, but I got this one because I loved the design. These wings fan out. And Chernobog is probably one of my favorite villains just because I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and he was the villain that scared the crap out of me. I didn't know he was a Disney villain until about 5 years ago. So I loved this character. And yeah, he's the starter for my villains section. And next up we have my kind of what I call the nerd section. Nothing Disney related. Most of these are either from Comic-Con or from Loot Crate. But I love these pins, so I just wanted to showcase them real quick. I'll do it really quickly because there's a lot of them. We have my Thor from Universal Orlando, plus Mjolnir from the Las Vegas Avengers experience, Battle Beast from Invincible, my Heroes pin from Loot Crate, Flash from San Diego Comic-Con, and my San Diego Comic-Con attendee badge. We have these three, Assassin's Creed, Star Trek, and Ouija from Loot Crate, Swamp Thing from the Legion of Collectors. These two represent my huge love of Power Rangers. This one, Lord Draken, I got from San Diego Comic-Con 2018. Galaga ship from Loot Crate, World of Warcraft, Witchblade, which the Witchblade one is super cool for me because I actually bought that from the creator of Witchblade, Mark Silvestri. As a comic book history nerd, that is so cool for me. Mark Silvestri started Image Comics, and it's just so cool. We have Halloween, and then a bunch of Loot Crate pins that I've got. Some that are just random generic ones, like this Fantasy coat of arms, this little Jurassic Park frilled lizard, nuclear bomb from Fallout, D20, some Transformers, Bumblebee when that movie came out, Lost in Space, little MP3 track meant to go, I think it was supposed to be like Star-Lord's, Battleborn, which was a more popular game, my Loot Crate robot, Adventure Time, Jake the Dog and Finn the Human, Elder Scrolls Online, Avatar, which I haven't gotten back and watched them on Netflix, but that's kind of on my to-do list. And then these ones from Universal Orlando. Along with my nerd pins, these were the first pins that I bought. And they represent kind of the baby Avengers, which I love. So that's all I got for my pin collection, but I also wanted to showcase these three items too. We have these three art pieces from the Wonderground Gallery at Disney Springs. I try and get here as often as I can when we go to the parks just because I love their work. They work with freelance or third-party artists who create Disney pieces in their styles, and I love it. As an artist myself, this is a great way to show off. I just respect these people so much to show off the creativity of these third-party artists and their work and their abilities. And I'm going to put their names below on the bottom of the screen right now. I have to look them up on the back of the postcards. I don't want to take them off for the video here, but we have this comic book style Haunted Mansion cover with a Hatbox Ghost. We have this ukiyo-e style Hades from Hercules. We have Constance from the Haunted Mansion, the Widow Ghost. All three of these are just such a cool style. I got them all last year. My brother got a Country Bear Jamboree one. If I do a second one of these to show my brother's pins, I'll show you as well. But these are so cool. I'm always happy to show these off. And yeah, I hope go out and support these artists. And I'm glad Disney does as well. So there we are. That is my pin collection. My pin board, as you can see here. Very empty right now, but as I build up over the years, it'll get more and more full, and all of these represent memories for me. That's what's most important why I started pin collecting. Each of these has a memory tied to them. And that's why I was able to tell some stories about these, and yeah. That's my pin collection. I hope you enjoyed that, and let's get to the outro. So that was my pin board, my collection of pins that I've gotten over the years. I hope you liked this video. It's kind of a weird format for me. I haven't done anything like it yet, and it's something that I've been experimenting with. I've filmed this one twice, as I said a couple times now in the video, and it's one of those things where I just wanted to tell too many stories. That just kind of comes with the territory. I said these pins mean a lot to me. I know they're just shiny pieces of enamel with paint on them, but at the same time, it may sound silly, but they do mean a lot to me. They each have memories attached to them, and so that's the main reason I got into pin trading in the first place, and why I want to keep doing it. Thank you for taking this journey with me through my old memories and through my my shiny metal painted pieces that, I don't know, mean more to me probably than they do to you, but I know there's an audience for this on YouTube. I know that there's quite a few pin traders out there. I know there's people who are interested in it. I hope this was interesting to you. I'm going to try a lot of different formats, different topics for this type of vlog episode that I'm doing. I'm hoping that there's going to be some really interesting stuff coming out of it. If you did like this video, if you enjoyed this weird topsy-turvy format that I've got going on here, if you enjoyed just seeing my collection and want to see more of my nerdy stuff, be sure to hit a like down below. Subscribe to see all of my other videos because I post weekly. Now maybe twice weekly, depending on how this one works. And also leave a comment down below. As I asked at the beginning of the video, what are the things that you collect? Let me know in the comments. And also answer my question of the week from the last video. What are your favorite horror tropes? So that's it. That's all I have for this week. Be safe, be kind, have a little fun this week. I'll see you next time. Bye. Showcasing the Hakuna Matata trio. Enjoyed this kind of weird topsy-turvy term. If you enjoyed this weird topsy-turvy